welcome back to the AfriCanadian Resource Center. Today is Friday the 13th, my luckiest day ever. So I hope you're having a wonderful Friday, and obviously knowing the conditions out there, COVID-19 and everything, considering all of that, we hope you are having a wonderful Friday the 13th. Today is a bit different. We're going to give you the news, obviously, and then we're going to bring you the interview. But we're doing it in a more, looking at the numbers and looking at some of the things that are going on. It's really alarming as I was just looking at some of the information. For example, we're looking at Ontario projecting between 6,000 to 7,000 daily cases by mid-December. And they're saying that these figures would surpass the population adjusted rate of cases in the United Kingdom, France, and Germany, where full or partial lockdowns are in place. So if you imagine, if we get to this place, and that's why I'm saying today is different, because I feel like we've never thought about anything like this before. Looking at the numbers we're getting now, for example, today we had about 1,096 more cases in Ontario, about let's see, 19 deaths today. Obviously that's a higher number, and we had about 440 new cases in Peel Region as well, Peel Region and Toronto. So these numbers are high, but they're not as high as looking at 6,000 to 7,000. It's really high. So we really hope we don't get to that place. We really hope we don't get to that level. But if we do, we definitely need to take much higher measures than what we have right now, because I can't imagine Toronto, Ontario, reporting 6,000 to 7,000 new cases every day. That would really be bad. So yeah, I wanted to maybe talk about that a little bit before we begin the show. Look at where we are. Previously I had talked about being optimistic, believing that this thing is going to pass. But every day we wake up and it's still here. Every day we wake up and leaders, governments are telling us to continue to take the measures, to continue to keep the distance. But of course, every day we have to go to work. Every day we have to do what we have to do. What are we supposed to do? I think we have to maintain the optimism. We have to maintain the positivities. Like right now at the office with our team, we continue to it's almost like we're in a bubble pretending this is not happening. But as soon as you get outside, you got to put on a mask, you got to do all of these things that we know are important to keep everybody safe. Where are we going with this? And this is maybe the question that we should all ask ourselves. Are we safe continuing to keep the measures up? Or should we, obviously the vaccine is something that is coming up that we're all looking at, but are we even, are we willing to take a vaccine that is not well tested? What are we supposed to do? That's something that I think we need to start thinking about and figuring out, where do we go? Because I don't think we can function like this as a city, for example, here in Toronto or Canada. I don't think we can function like this for as long as the projection is showing that we have to. So I think we need to figure out a way, and I'm talking about governments, of course, individuals. We need to think about ways to actually live with this disease, to live with this virus. Because like a cold, like a flu, like anything else, we figured out a way. And waiting for the vaccines to come, waiting for all of these things, I think for me, is something that we thought of, yes, earlier, but right now where we are, it's a bit late in the ballgame to be waiting. I think we need to figure out a way to live with this virus. And I mean go to work and, function. Or, as someone else suggested in here, shut down everything for 2 weeks or whatever. Shut down everything means nobody goes out, nobody goes anywhere for 2 weeks. So this thing can go by. Obviously, that's crazy. That's beyond measure. But we've got to think about something. That's really just, I wanted to have us maybe think about this Friday, the 13th. Honestly, for me, I know most people are scooped by the number. It's my luckiest number ever. So hopefully you look at it the same way. And there is more to that, obviously. But I'm just trying to make sure that we can think about the future and not be caught up in this chaotic pandemic that has already lasted almost a year. Let's think about what we can do to actually change and be functional, be active, and be available to do the things that we're supposed to do, regardless of the disease, because it doesn't seem like this thing is going anywhere. Anyways, that is my thought for today. We'll come back with the interview shortly. Let's go for a commercial.
A message from the Government of Canada.
All right, so tonight we're looking at branding and marketing Black businesses in Canada. And I have an interview with Wilfrid, who we spoke to earlier this week. And we're looking at some of the challenges, but also the opportunities that are available, especially during COVID. Because one of the things you realize, and this is something I'm learning as we go, most of the people that I'm talking to who are doing businesses or who are in the community, they are all they're really doing well during COVID, which is shocker. It's a shocking revelation, I guess, but it's not surprising to me, because even for us, we feel like we've been doing really good as far as the organization is concerned. And obviously part of it is because there is more funding now that we can access, but for the people who are doing businesses, they actually have more customers, because the stores, the competition, the regular malls are shut down now. So you get that from a person who is usually used to dealing with online vendors, telling you that during COVID they are doing better. And it's like, at first you're taken back by the answer, but you think about it, you realize, wait, it makes sense. It makes sense that a lot of people now are doing better because of COVID. And then of course, figuring out a way, and this is the interview, is what we talked about, figuring out a way to compete with the rest of the market. Because when you look at Black markets or Black branding companies, Black distribution and marketing companies, there is really levels to go. And I think you'll hear this in the interview that I had with Wilfrid. Part of it, I asked him, or at least I tried to understand what needs to be done for us to be on the same level as other companies. Obviously, we know funding, capacity, all of those things are part of it. But I don't want to give you the answers. We'll definitely hear that from his interview. And also learn more about how you can reach out to his company, how you can reach out to some of the work that they do, and take advantage of the services that they provide. So here goes the interview. All right, Wilfrid, thank you so much for joining us at the AfriCanadian Resource Center. We really appreciate you making the time. And before we start the interview, maybe let the audience know who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. It's really a pleasure being on your platform. So let me introduce myself. My name is Wilfrid Komaclo. I'm from Benin Republic in Africa, so I live in Canada, especially in Kitchener. So I'm the co-founder of a platform called Smarket for You, which is a business platform, an e-commerce platform for all the Black-owned businesses in Canada. And I know we're going to be talking about this further, but this is just like a basic introduction. Yeah.
All right, so you're from Benin. When did you reach Canada? And I always ask this question because it gives me an idea of what, I guess, in terms of understanding what your experience is in Canada, understanding obviously in this case in the market. When did you arrive to Canada?
I arrived in Canada in April 2015, like 5 years ago. Yeah.
All right, so it's always encouraging to see new people to Canada having already taking on the lead in the business world. And I definitely want to encourage you, because I feel like sometimes if you allow so much time to go by, you feel discouraged by so much responsibility and you don't actually get into the market. Am I right about that, or do you see it differently? Because I feel like when we settle here 10 years in and we haven't started anything, most likely we never start anything.
Exactly. So I always say it's about comfort zone. So if you stay too long in the comfort zone, you don't build too much. So you have to step out of that comfort zone and stop looking at what others have achieved for how long they've been here. So you to go out there and put yourself on the spot, and you can do whatever you want here.
All right. So Smart for You, you're branding African, more specifically, you're branding Black businesses. How has that challenge been for you? I know it's a challenge because looking at the way we brand our products, our services across the country, it's definitely not to par compared to the rest of the country. So how has that challenge been for you as a company, as a startup?
To be honest, I won't say it was a challenge, because we started Smart Market for You as a community. So it wasn't mostly about marketing or anything. It was like a community. We wanted to put all Black businesses all together under a platform. So we didn't have too much challenge because we had an opportunity to communicate with each vendor separately. We tried to familiarize ourselves with them. So we didn't just create a platform without knowing who we are promoting. We tried to get in there, send them messages, emailing, calling, trying to know what you're going through and how we can assist you. So gradually, we are building a community and allowing everybody to integrate that community. So even though at some point it was hard to actually communicate with some vendors because they don't know who we are, we just started, and there are some platforms that maybe doing better or doing something different. But the idea hasn't really gotten out there, and that's why we're using different platforms to promote this idea because. As a black business owner in Canada, we all know how difficult it is to actually get yourself out there. And as a small business owner, it takes a lot to get out there. Promotion, marketing, creating a website, and everything. And we also know that during the COVID-19, everything went virtual. So it's really complicated, and that's the reason why we are creating this platform for everybody. Yeah.
And so when you say black businesses, because for me, and it might be controversial, but for me it's not. When I look at some of the work we're doing, obviously our platform is the AfriCanadian. We are specifically focused on continental African Canadians, and that is people who just came from Africa, maybe first, second, third generation. That is the audience we are focused on. When you say black businesses, who are you targeting specifically? Is it like all black people in Canada?
Yeah, so mainly we are targeting all black businesses in Canada because we are black, we are black. We feel that same pressure. We feel that same, we are in the same situation. So being from Africa, being from Jamaica, being from any black country, we're giving you that opportunity to come out there and let the world see what you're offering to the Canadian community.
Okay, and let me maybe qualify my question too, because yes, when you're black, but we have different backgrounds. I think for business, you're right. For the business world, it's definitely something where you can look at it and say, you know, when you're black, or when you're Canadian, you're Canadian. But when you break it down, especially within the non-for-profit world or the community development world, the Caribbean communities, all these other communities like Canadian blacks, have been here much longer. So they have, even though they don't have the foundation as they should, but at least they know each other. They have that foundation. For the continental African Canadian, there is nothing. Really, we are literally starting from scratch. And so we wanted to focus on that, at least identify who is there, who exists. Because when it comes to funding, for example, a lot of our people are not even on the table. Forget about getting the money. They are not even on the table of discussion as to whether we should get money in the African Canadian communities. Where for the Caribbeans, the black communities, these are organizations that have been here for years. And so that is where for us, we're like, you know what, in order to even have these discussions as black people in Canada, first, let's even be on the table. Hence why we have the AfriCanadian as a platform here. But I definitely get your point as far as it's when you're black on the surface level. We are all dealing with the same discrimination level and everything. But some of us are not even on the table. That's, I guess, my point about.
Caribbean have been here for a while, and they have like a foot on the ground compared to us Africans. And that's what I was referencing, the Caribbean party, which they call Caribana, that happens in Toronto. That can be seen as for all black people, but we, in general, black people, we know exactly that it's basically Caribbean trying to portray bringing their culture into the Canadian environment. So that's just to follow up on what you're saying. And it's true. There are different and many opportunities available for them there, and which we are trying to integrate the market. And even though we are creating, Smart Market is creating a platform for all black vendors, we try as much as possible to make all the opportunities equal for everybody. So we don't prioritize one and leave the other. So that's pretty much what we're doing.
No, that's amazing. And now maybe my next question is, in terms of branding compared to the general market, what do you think? So because you're saying you're not seeing a challenge, where for me, I definitely see a lack of, like, as far as the quality, you know, like when you talk marketing, we talk about branding, we talk about what we see, what you want your image to look like, whether it's you're a company, whether you're a business, or whether you're a community. I definitely see that we are not at par compared to the general society or the general marketplace. What do we need to do to get to that level?
Okay, thank you. So the main thing I focus on most of the time when I'm discussing with vendors is to tell them that we need to live the African mentality when we come to Canada. The market is different. Everything here is going virtual. Like, you can buy something from someone by just bargaining like we do in the market back home. So first, you need to create, either you are creating a business, you're registering your business, you have a website, you have a social media page, you're you're sending people marketing email, you're using Google Ads and all those little things. We need to budget for all those things. So in as much as you have a product that everybody wants to buy, everybody's interested in your product, you still have to go through those steps because this is what the market is asking for. And if you don't follow up if you don't work according to what the market is asking for, then you'll be left behind. And we realize that a lot of people are struggling with this. And again, that's why we come in the picture, because we know how expensive it is to actually pay for marketing, pay for people to promote you and all those things. And that's why we created this platform, because if you put all the Black people all together, all businesses together, that will cut down the cost of having one person promote his business and go global. So that's pretty much what we are doing.
So if I had an idea, right now I have an idea, maybe I have a product or a service, and I needed your help. What process do we go through? I'm looking at, you do a promotion, you do marketing, and then you do have a component of coaching as well from what I've seen on your platform, and advertising. What am I, when it comes to advertising, do you sort of select a plan for me? When it comes to coaching, do you sort of do we have like a consultation program where I meet with you every week? Like, give me an idea, give the audience an idea of what to look for if they have an idea. Maybe they don't have a website, or they have a website, but they want to make their platform function better. What do you provide as a service as far as for somebody who is interested in this kind of service?
Okay, so thank you so much. So yeah, let's give an example of a vendor that just come to me and be like, okay, I'm just starting a product and I need your help. So the first thing we ask is, what's your business? What's your idea? What's your goal? What are you working on? What strategy have you used before and it didn't work? So that way we know exactly how we are helping you. So first of all, what we do is go through your page, see what you've done so far, what product you're offering, how your biography is laid out. So that's the main thing, because that's what people will look at first to purchase from you. Are you using the right hashtag? How did you name your business? Are you on a private account selling a product, which is what people do a lot? So we first of all look at your bio and we change that for you, and we send you like a template that you can use to make the changes. And from there, we send you on our platform. So you go there, you register your business, you create an account, you have a store, and then you can copy a link. It's almost like you have a page to your store. You put in your biography on Instagram, for instance, and then people can click on that and view your product. So another thing we do is promote you on your social media page. I mentioned at the beginning that we are doing this for small businesses. So right now what we do is, as long as you register on our website, it's easy. We don't actually charge you anything. There's no plan, there's nothing. All we do is make sure all the products that you have available are promoted on our page. So first, we make sure we promote it once on our page, and all the time it goes on our story. So whenever we see there is a sale, there's a promotion going on your page, we capture it and post it for people to view it, and people will go and purchase from you. So that's how we try helping small businesses, to help them keep their profit as much as possible by creating a directory or a marketplace that is growing every day.
And how, so in terms of scaling up now, how can you, because I'm thinking if you're going to do this in terms of like promoting individual businesses, if you scale up and you have more businesses, let's say you have 200, 300 businesses, the story idea won't work anymore. Like, how do you scale up now?
Okay, so the idea of having much businesses is we are increasing, our team is increasing every day. And as much as we are increasing, we're adding more members to the team. So the more member we have in the team, the more time we have to allocate to different businesses that are growing. Before we started, we had lesser members. So we started the platform with like 500 people, and now we are at almost 3,000. So at first I was alone on the platform, but right now we have like 3 to 4 people managing every day. Sometimes you might be chatting with someone, sometimes it might not be me. So we try to separate all the responsibility to make sure it doesn't look overwhelming. And even though we're still increasing the number of members in our team and the number of followers are increasing, we try to find a way to automate the process. Because sometimes you message me, nobody's available, there is an automatic message that you get, we are not available, we'll get back to you soon. So whenever you call us, we send you the template and the steps to follow. And once you follow those steps, become easy. You send us the details that we need, and we start from there.
Yeah, and I was talking about the actual product being seen by your followers. Like, so in this case, you say you put like a product on the story, right? if you have 200 stories in one day, you cannot. If you have 200 products, I'm talking about now scaling up. When you get to a place where we have 200 products in one day, then now how do you promote that? How do you market that? You know, you can no longer do stories anymore, right? That's why I guess I'm going back to that advertising component. Like, how do you get your customers' products to the buyer?
Okay, so one thing about social media is not every day the customers have the clients have have new products. So usually we'll focus on new products that are coming on the market because we can't keep posting the same thing over and over and over. It becomes boring. So we focus on new things that are coming on the market, and we know that majority are selling the same thing over and over, unless they have something new. So this is like a randomizer. We just randomly post on story, but when something new, a promotion or something special comes in, that's when we put it on the page.
Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, so now when you look at some of the businesses that you have met or the people that you're working with so far, what maybe give us the impression of what you've seen in terms of the products and the services that you're seeing in our community. What are your thoughts on that as far as the quality of the product? Because for me, again, I go back to this. I don't care. I think we can do great things. We're incredible storytellers. We're incredible producers. We can do these things. My challenge for the African Canadian community, going back to the people that I'm speaking to, right, is quality, quality, quality.
Yeah.
What do you think of the quality of some of the companies that you're dealing with so far?
Well, to be honest, I would say people are doing great stuff out there, and because there is a lot of competition. If you call, let's talk about Kitchener, for instance. If you come to Kitchener, there are so many vendors. So let's say someone is making rice, selling rice or whatever. Another person is selling the same thing. So if you're unable to deliver what the customer is looking for, you're losing them, and they're going to the other person. And I've had the opportunity to taste a lot of food, a lot of product, and I can tell you the competition is there. The work is being done. So the only thing I can mention right now that is not being properly achieved is the customer service. So we know, like I was saying from the beginning, it takes time to change from the mentality of Africa to Canada. So we need to focus on that customer service. When you tell someone it's going to be ready in 2 days, it has to be ready in 2 days. If you tell someone that's how much it is, there's no other thing that has to change. You have to make sure you deliver. So the customer service is the main thing. And yeah, that's the only thing that I would say we should focus on. But the quality of product and what the service that we are rendering has to be on the same level. So that's
By the way, let me now bridge those two communities, the African and the Black community. That is a problem we have across the board. I've had a lot of people, especially in the States, that I try to buy products from, and the best products ever on the planet. So far, no comparison. But you order it and it comes, if you're lucky, it gets to you in 3 months. And then when you send messages, if you're lucky, they reply to you in a week or two. And to me, that in 2020, that should not happen when you have a good product that you know that people want. Like, it's easily, all you gotta do is, I don't know if you know about Fiverr or these other platforms that help you facilitate these kind of all you have to do is just set up like 2 people and have them automate things like you were saying. And so, I mean, again, quality, quality, quality. And to me, when it comes to deliverables, we are failing big time. And I think that's one of the reason, and I know that's the business you're in, because that one is having a platform, having websites, but also making sure that people who come to your website and you can respond to them in time and things like that, right? So definitely behind on that. I don't know how do we fix that? How do we get someone like you to actually reach these individuals and actually get them to do what they're supposed to do, because they're in competition and it seems like they don't even know it.
Yeah, I mean, we're losing a big share of the market, of the Canadian market, with our customer service, because a lot of people feel frustrated when they order from a Black business owner and they don't get the result, they don't get the product, like they promise them something and they don't deliver. So yeah, it's kind of strange. So let me give you an example. On Smarket for you, when you log on the portal, there's a chat option. You can chat with us directly. There is a live agent that will reply to you immediately. Or if you're not available, there is a bot that will reply to you until the question becomes tricky, and then we reply to you in the next 24 hours. And I'm sure before the next 24 hours, someone must reply to you. And there is also an option to send us an email directly. So you have different ways for us to satisfy you. And if you can find us on the website, go on the social media page and get it done. So what am I trying to say through that with that? So if you buy from a vendor on our platform, let's say you want to purchase something, you can chat with the vendor directly. You can send them an inquiry. So we try as much as possible to put different ways to communicate, because we know that's the main problem that we're having, communication. So we put different options there for people to communicate. But then you mentioned that how do we bridge that gap is actually a work in progress every day, because you have to keep telling vendors, do this, be on. For instance, you send an email to a vendor, they don't reply to it, they don't look at it. A lot of people don't read their emails. But that's where a lot of stuff are happening, because companies are
I'll say
sending
this:
marketing emails.
a lot of not serious people don't read their emails. I mean, you shouldn't read your email all day, but you should have at least an hour of making sure you read your emails, because most people, most serious people I know, they operate through emails. They, you know, the Instagram and all of this is cool and everything, but trust me, most of your most important messages come through emails. So you're not reading emails. It's almost like I'm just like avoiding this 50 to 70% share of the market because I don't want to read email, right?
Yeah. So it's really important to actually make sure, if you put an email on your page, make sure that email is being used. So people don't just email you on your page and then you don't see the email. Then 1 week later you come back and like, oh, I didn't read your email. I'm like, just remove the email. Then don't use it. Put your phone number, then people can chat with you directly. So we need to always make sure we don't just do it because we are doing it. We're doing it because we can actually do it.
And there is another option too, and I'm sure you know this, but like you could easily now set up a way for people to communicate directly with you through WhatsApp, right? You could put your phone number, and once they click on that directly, they go through your WhatsApp, which is a very, like, to me, looking at it, it's very smart because everybody's on WhatsApp. I mean, you find people who are not on WhatsApp, but majority of people are on WhatsApp as much as they are on Instagram. So you're right. Put something that you use. Don't put something where, oh, I'm gonna go there in my convenience. Because if it's a business, it should not be at your convenience. It should be there like you are doing everything else during the day. Because that's the flow, right? Whether it's revenue or people are criticizing your work, all of those things are part of how you build a brand. And I think another thing, maybe you tell me this: are we good at taking criticism as Africans, as Black people? Are we good at taking criticism? Because I feel like when it comes to like the general society, and I'm talking about everybody, not just like Caucasians, but like I mean everybody except Black people. When it comes to criticism, they take the criticism, they go and they come back with something better. Like look at Apple, look at all these big companies. They, they do something. The market says, this is terrible. They come back with something 10 times better than what they had done previously. Are we good at taking criticism, or do we just sort of go in our own shell based on what you have seen? Or do you even offer criticism as a part of your branding?
Yeah, so to be honest, since we started Smart Market for You, we had a lot of vendors tell us, I mean, what we do before we created the platform, we actually asked what vendors need. We communicate with people. And when we launched the platform, we asked them, what do you think is not good? What do you think is bad? What should we add? What should we do? This and that. So all those feedbacks are the reason why we actually making changes every day. Every day we keep adding stuff. So I know that in the market it's hard, from where we're coming from till here, it's hard to actually criticize someone and they can take it easily. I know people say, okay, yeah, give us feedbacks, but what are you doing with the feedbacks? They just, okay, it's a feedback, but people don't make changes. It's hard for us Black people to make changes. So it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication. So if you really love your business and you really want to get out there and take a bigger spot, and that's the other thing, people feel comfortable where they are. You're making $100 sale per day. You're like, I'm making a lot of money. I never expected to be here. So that's the problem. If you actually aim higher, we should actually be able to increase our customer service, accept feedbacks, and make changes. So that's what I think we should be doing.
I think a lot of people are afraid also. It comes from a lack mentality where when you see a little bit of success, you think, okay, you know what, this is good. And instead of sort of pushing, because usually it's a risk to change also. Like if something's working, when you change it, you might actually destroy what you have. So people are afraid of, losing what they have. And sometimes you have to do that as an entrepreneur. You have to do that. You cannot just, if it's working, it's going to work maybe for this season. What about next season? You got to sort of revamp things And I feel like when we get to that comfort once again, which is where you started with this conversation, when you get to that comfort spot and you just chill and you go there and you stay there. And as we know, and I'm sure you know this, nothing grows in the comfort zone. Nothing, you know, just stand still and you sort of are stuck there. No, I mean, I really, I like this. I like the idea. I like that we need more of this. I know in the States there is more of these platforms that have popped up in the last few years. Sell black, buy black, those ideas, and it's working. It's really working. And if you look at some of the other communities, the Jewish community, the Chinese community, if you look how their money sort of exchanges within their own community, it's shocking that for the black community, our money comes in and goes. It doesn't stay for even 1 second. And so hopefully with these kinds of platform, we can achieve a little bit of circulation in, where we get the money in our communities and actually circulate it through our communities before it goes outside. And I don't know, if we, like the Jewish community is around between 13 and 17 times. If we can go somewhere around eight times, we would be winning. And I don't know. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that.
Yeah, I think as long as we stop being, let me use the word selfish, we can actually grow something for us. I believe if someone can put himself out there and create an opportunity for other people, we can do better. I've seen a lot of people complain about situation whereby they want to get into a company, they want to get a loan, they want to get this, and there's a black person that can assist them, but because the other person doesn't want them to get that position. I mean, me getting that position doesn't affect you. You still get a position, you still get your pay. But then we don't want to actually elevate the other people so we can take over. So we want to be the only people in that position and rule the old position. But unfortunately, the majority speaks. So if you are not a majority, like we don't have much people in the company, we can't take over. We're still going to be used all the time. So let's give an opportunity. Let's give each other an opportunity to enter the community, to develop, to grow together, so that way we can actually develop. You're talking about the Jewish community. Let me use Indians. I've gone to school with Indian. I school with them. I'm in their community. I have friends with them. I know how they assist each other, how they grow together, and they have a city. They have Brampton for them. So let's look at it that way. If we continue supporting each other one way or the other, creating opportunities like what you're doing, inviting me on your platform is a privilege. And that's the same way I'm going to actually go somewhere and be like, hey, I came to this platform. You should check it out. They're doing amazing. And you telling another person, oh, Smart Market is doing amazing. We're all growing together. And that's the opportunity that we're creating for each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. And trust me, if you notice, even within my early questions, I'm not afraid to challenge my people. I'm not. Because at the end of the day, this is one thing I would say, maybe from the point you just raised. If I feel like somebody's not up to par, right? They say I'm in a company and I'm working in the company and you want to come and join me, and I see that you don't qualify for that position, then I might challenge you. But if you qualify as much as anyone else, absolutely, I want you to be there, because the more of us in space, the better. Not to say that we want to push anyone else out, but we definitely want to have an influence on the culture, same way other communities have had the influence on the culture. But we got to be the best at it. And that's why for me, I'm definitely going to challenge you. And I hope you challenge me as well. If you see something that we're doing that needs to improve. And by the way, another point we maybe didn't talk about, a lot of the reasons why we don't take criticism well is because you can criticize me, but then I look at my capacity and be like, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have the money to change this. I don't have, but at least you can take the criticism with grace and be like, you know what, this person is right. When we get to that point, we're going to change that for the better. I think that to me is important as far as what we're trying to do. But you're right, we need to stop, sort of the self-hate that we have, which is a much longer conversation. We could go forever, but I think there is a level of self-hate as well. That's a part of that.
Exactly, and you're right. You said it very well, and it's hard when we don't have opportunity, we don't have the means, we don't have what it takes to make the changes. It's hard to actually make the changes, and opportunity can't just open to everybody. You have to fit into that market before someone can allow you in. And the other thing that I notice is the way we ourselves put ourselves in this spot. Like, for instance, I'm going in a company, I want to get an opportunity. The other person is ready to help me, but when I get the opportunity, what do I do with it? How do I behave myself? So those are
Absolutely.
reasons why people don't actually
Because
help.
you need to make the other person look good for having trusted you with that opportunity.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
a
one thing we need
responsibility
to
we
work
have,
on as well. Exactly. So that's
Yeah.
one thing we need to work on as well.
Amazing, Wilfrid. Maybe tell us, what are you? Two questions, maybe. Let me talk about the COVID situation. How has COVID, in your opinion, how has COVID affected businesses in the Black businesses in the? You can even focus on the area where you are in Kitchener, but overall, if you like as well, how has COVID affected our business owners overall, based on what you have seen?
I think discussing with most businesses, I think COVID has helped a lot of people, to be honest, because before they had stores where people can just walk in directly, but now everything is online. So everybody's relying on social media to buy something from you. Either you have a website, but you still have to go through a social media platform. So a lot of people made a lot of money because they have their delivery system that is working for them. They have like a courier company that can assist them immediately. So it really improved their sales, and most people are actually enjoying this. So yeah, I think it did good. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. This is a theme. Everybody have asked this question. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
talking to people who are prepared for this kind of situation, but I'm getting the same answer from everybody. I mean, we know there are challenges in the community. That's why we're here. But from the entrepreneurship angle, from the non-for-profit angle, a lot of people that I've interviewed have given me the same answer. Like, this has been a blessing going through COVID. Either it allowed them to think about something, it allowed them to access some funds that they couldn't otherwise have access. In your case, it's allowed people to actually put out products that they would otherwise have not done, because they have a competition, and now the competition is locked down. So now everything is going through online. So um, it's amazing to see that, and I really like to see that as well, because I'm tired of telling sad stories. So it's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I think the other fact is most people that I'm dealing with are actually small businesses. They don't have a store.
Mm,
So before they are
mm,
struggling and doing like a competition between them and big stores. So now stores are closed and
yeah.
everything is online. So it's like we are all on
Mm.
the same scale. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good. And looking forward for you, for Smart for you, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? Let's say the next 4 to 10 years. What are we looking at as far as Smart for you is concerned for the Black community here in Canada?
Well, so I'm allowed to dream big. So I would say what we're hoping to do is to have our own delivery process, because right now the only struggle that we are having right now, what we are struggling with is to have a to ship like to have let me call it skip the dishes kind of process, because we know vendors are selling food stuff, but it's hard to have a delivery company take food stuff and deliver it at the same time. So that's the process
Mm,
that we are working on, to have our own delivery company, have like the Black community uh, develop a delivery system that could actually benefit all of us. So in the long run, we are
mm,
hoping that Smart Market will be more functional. You can order from that platform directly and have it delivered to you whatever you want, whenever you need it. Apart from having people display their product on the platform, we also have a directory. So what we are doing is we are working for small businesses. We know that they don't have a lot of money to actually finance their project. So we have three options. You can either create a platform, register on our platform in the directory, and that's free. So then when it
mm,
comes to actually selling on the platform, you have to pay for payment, gateways, and all those things. That's when you start getting charged. But people can have an opportunity to see you on the platform regardless of whether you are paying or you're not paying. So, I mean,
mm,
those things will help in the future to actually help small businesses grow to the point that they can actually afford the membership and now selling directly from the website. So I believe for Smart Market, we are hoping to actually negotiate with different banks or institutions to help Black businesses register their businesses at a cheaper cost. Maybe create different events. I recently discussed with the city of Waterloo, where I live, the region of Waterloo,
mm,
and
mm,
requested for them to actually allow us to go on their market. We have a marketplace here, so we can actually sell our products at some point, even if it's 1 hour or 2 hours. So we have like a small market, and people can come and buy and eat. But then COVID came in, and we
mm,
couldn't do that anymore. So those are things that we are
mm.
looking for. We are hoping to also create like a funding program that we can actually allocate to different businesses, help grow one business at a time, and then we can actually keep going on the long run. So we have a lot of projects, and hopefully we have the finances and technology to accomplish them.
No, I'm amazing. And as I always say, whenever I'm interested in, let's talk about these on the outside of these interview. I like what you're doing. Some of the work because I'm also an entrepreneur with some of the from the media distribution part of business, and
Okay.
some of what you're doing, I'm really interested in seeing how that goes for the Black community, and of course, again, the African Canadian community. So I would love to have a conversation down the road and see how we can collaborate as well. But I really wish you the best. I think what you guys are doing is incredible. It's needed. The branding of the African Canadian story, products, and services is crucial. Is crucial beyond Instagram, beyond social media. I mean, in the general market. And so having someone taking that lead on it, definitely. So that's something we need to see more. And I wish you all the best. Maybe let us know where to find you. Of course, we talked about the platform many times. Let the audience know where they can find you on the different platforms.
Okay, so like I said at the beginning of this interview, the brand is Smart Market for You. You can see us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. But then to register for our business, you have to go on www.smarket4you, and that's SMARKET4YOU.com. So Smarket for You, register your business, you go through it. And if you have any question, we have a live chat, we have an email option. Feel free to get in touch and we'll be happy to assist you, okay?
All right. Thank you so much, Wilfrid. We appreciate you being with us today. And man, keep doing what you do and let us know if any way we can help you down the road. We're going to try to obviously do what we can. But to be honest, this is why we're here, is making sure we can highlight each other's work. For me, as a platform, we're determined to do that for African Canadians. And so, let us know down the road. If you have anybody else that is interested in what we do, let them know as well. But overall, man, all the best, and let's build each other.
Well, thank you so much. It's actually a pleasure being here, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing for the African community, and seeing you guys growing every day, having a platform that actually can interview people. This is amazing. I mean, this is like breaking barriers. So I wish you two good luck, and hopefully in the future we can have time to actually discuss more opportunity to work together. Okay.
Absolutely. Stay safe,
Okay.
brother.
You too.
All
Take
right.
care. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So you're wondering why this guy is happy. Listen, it's 2 months anniversary. We've been doing this show for 2 months now. We started on September 14th. Tomorrow marks our 2nd month. And so I just thought, you know what, we need to make some moves here. I think this is an African dance. Anyways, really appreciate a lot of people who have followed us, a lot of people who have listened to some of our posts. Like our Facebook page has been doing really well. So we want to thank you for that. And we still want to ask you to continue, share this content, to let everybody know that the AfriCanadian Resource Center is here. AfriCanadian Resource Center is here to stay. We are still building the platform. When it's ready, we'll let you know. And we're going to put some resources on that platform. We're going to let you know. You're going to know everything that is going on. By the time this platform is done, you will know everything that is going on within the African Canadian community. We can't promise when it's going to be done, but we can tell you that it's going to be done, and we're going to put as much resources in there that you can come from anywhere and find an organization for the African Canadian across Canada. So yeah, 2 months. I'll see ya.